Before starting, do consider subscribing. Click the like button if you liked the video and comment down your suggestions after you have watched the video. Thank you. Now let us start.
8 years ago, S-City had a monster outbreak, sending the country to the brink of apocalypse. It was the greatest disaster they had ever seen. After investigation, it has been discovered that Zuo Fan has left city during the monster outbreak, abandoning duty, a heinous crime. The conviction was treason. Considering his many years of meritorious deeds for the country, he has been sentenced to a 10-year stay of execution. This meant that he had been put to death row but can be excused based on the behaviors in the sentenced years. He had a son, Zuo Fan. Zuo Fan goes to the prison to tell his dad that he was 18 now, he was an adult. His father had told him that he would tell Zuo Fan the truth once he was of age. The monster wave that caused the fall of the city 8 years ago. Zuo Fan said that it was time his father told him the truth, as he wanted to clear his dad's name. 8 years ago, City S had a monster outbreak and became the greatest disaster in all of China's history, and Zuo's father was the only one who had survived. And Zuo has been carrying the name of the traitor's son for the last 8 years. Expelled from school, ridiculed at job. The only reason that he was able to hold on to this was because of his faith to clear the injustice done to his father's name. His father speaks. He tells him that there is not much for him to say what happened back then. It had been judged quite clearly and he has been pleaded guilty. So he tells his son to go, leave the city Z, change his name and have a better life. His father also tells him to just pretend that he does not have a father, as it will not be easy to be the son of someone who betrayed their country. This makes Zuo Fan furious and tells his father he does not believe it and he is not that kind of person. His father had nothing more to tell him. The guards saw him come out and mocked him as the son of the traitor. But for Zuo Fan, his father was someone who had risked his life and made countless contributions for the country. He could not have been a traitor. The guards tell him that the visit fee had gone up by 3 times. When Zuo asks why, they tell him that it was the higher-ups' decision, and they were already being lenient by allowing him to visit. For Zuo is believed that his father was not a traitor. He then walks out. Just the $450 visit fee kept him at his limit, but now it was 3 times. After becoming a Starfall warrior reserve, he had risked his life for some income in the mercenary guild for all these years. An ordinary person's health would have won in all their categories. As an official Starfall, they would have at least 10, but only his mind and agility were over 10, his speed and reaction were good, but his physique had not changed for half a year now. If he wanted to clear his father's name, he cannot stop investigating. It was obvious that there were a lot of things that his father had hidden from him. The money that he earns from Mercenary Guild minus his living expenses minus to $450, but now 3 times Zuo had to think of what he must do. He sees his necklace. It was the only valuable thing that he had on him. His mom had given it to him as his birthday present. They said that it was made up of meteor fragments from the night of Starfall and it was worth quite a lot. Should he sell it? He slaps himself for thinking that. He had to find some higher rank mission in the Mercenary Guild. He goes to the City Z Mercenary Hall. There the people were mocking it as garbage. He had been awakened for 3 years, but was still the weakest warrior reserve. To other people it looked like it was as far as he could get for the rest of his life. People were mocking him as a son of a traitor, as he was the son of Zuo Fan. He then goes to his uncle and asks him to find a suitable E-rank mission for him. Gao hits him and tells Zuo Fan to not call him uncle, and if he says it again, he will kick out Zuo Fan from the Mercenary Guild. He lights up his cigar and tells Zuo that for him going on an E-rank mission is basically suicide. Even in F-rank monster's den, he needed to be an official Starfall warrior to be able to protect himself. His uncle considered him lucky to have survived this long, being cannon fodder in F-rank monster dens. As he was just a warrior reserve, there was no way that he could survive an E-rank monster den. Zuo Fan says he knows that he did not have a choice. Gao then says that he has an E-rank mission with a commission post, and it paid pretty well. The party was recruiting a scout. Zuo sees the paper and the reward was $3,000. He tells Gao that he loves him. His uncle warns him that this party was not ordinary, and he needs to keep his eyes open. For an E-rank clearing mission, the party members were all Skyfall warriors and at novice rank or above. He thinks that he just needed to do a good job scouting and he'll get paid handsomely. He gets there and a lady asks if he was the one Uncle Gao has recommended. She introduces herself as the leader of the combat party Mu Yingyue. Looking at her weapon and equipment, Zuo notices that lady was intermediate rank Starfall warrior. The lady actually had monster core and Starfall equipment. If Zuo recalled correctly, only intermediate rank Starfall warriors could use Starfall equipment. Monster core, it is said that among thousands of monsters, only one monster core may be produced. It was priceless beyond imagination. Starfall equipment, valuable items that were crafted using monster cores. It could greatly increase the strength of the Starfall warriors. The stats of the intermediate warriors were at least 40 on all the attributes. It looked like Zuo was the same age as her. Intermediate rank Starfall warriors under 20 years old are what people called prodigies. The difference between them was too much, and it would require a lot for Zuo to get to that level. Zuo then goes forward saying that he is the scout that Uncle Gao had recommended and introduces himself, going to shake her hand. He hopes that he does not think of his dad, as it can be troublesome. As they were about to shake hands, a boy from behind comes forward and shakes Zuo's hand instead. He then asks if he was a cannon fodder that the guild recommended. Zuo was confused. The boy then tightly grabs Zuo's hand, hurting him. Yingyue then stops the boy, stating his name is Mun Jia. Then another old man tells Xia that bullying a Starfall warrior on reserve duty was embarrassing behavior. Then acts like a child, saying he was only joking around. This makes Zuo mad, but there was nothing he could do. Then his contract is thrown towards him and he is told that if he does not have any questions, sign the contract. He notices the contract and manages to catch it. All of the members noticed that his alertness was pretty good and was a good fit to be a scout. Zuo thinks that it was a close call and gets a bit idea if the strength of a novice Starfall rank warrior. Novice rank Starfall warrior could temporarily enforce objects to become extremely hard by injecting their power. Yingyue then says that Zuo has a suitable talent for a scout and Gao was not wrong. Yingyue then hands it over to Uncle Mo. The old man tells Zuo that under hunting regulations, Starfall warrior reserve cannot join E-rank monsters den. He then tells Zuo to look at his contract and sign it if he does not have any questions. Zuo then analyzes that there were 6 people no less than a novice rank and were all well equipped. And also, there were 2 intermediate rank warriors with Starfall equipment. With a team like this, Zuo thinks that the money is not that far and then signs the contract. He thinks that he can freeload and earn money. They then check their equipment and enter the E-rank monster den area. Monster's Den, as the name suggests, was the gathering place of the monster. After the world changed immensely, outside of where the humans lived, the monsters roamed around rampantly. Those were the restricted areas. Hot weapons had little to no effect on these mutated monsters, and some monsters could even absorb bullets and poison gas to mutate even further. A weapon could be made up of monster parts that would be more effective to injure and kill the monsters. Thus, cold weapons have gained popularity once again, and with high-level monster parts being so pricey, they also become a symbol of wealth and strength for the high-level Starfall warriors. City X E-rank monster Denver. The area where they used to be City X's downtown area, but now it was monster-infested dangerous territory. Zuo sees monsters and guesses that the sound made by the river was made by them. The fish lizard E-rank monster. mutated amphibious monsters that have thick and incredibly hard scales and fangs that can pierce through metal. Zuo aims at one of them and shoots an arrow. It hits the monster's eye and bounces off. The monster then noticed Zuo and attacked him. Zuo had successfully baited the monsters, but the speed of the monsters was so much faster than what the intel had said. Zuo is running from the monsters. The fish lizard had incredibly hard fish scales covering their body, razor-sharp teeth that can bite through metal, webbed claws, and has some absorption capabilities as well. It's extremely fast as a starfall warrior reserve. If he was not familiar with the monster and the environment, there was no way that he could survive. However, all the monsters had weak points and Zuo Fan must find an opportunity to attack its weak point. When an attack of the fish lizard missed, Zuo saw a chance. He takes out his arrows and shoots. According to the intel, the weak points of the fish lizard were its eyes and its long tongue. The attack had hit its tongue. Zuo thought that even a reserve like him can prove to be useful in an E-rank mission after familiarizing himself with Den's monster. But wait, the monster pushed the arrows out of his tongue. Zuo Fan then freezes for a while, realizing that normal weapon cannot effectively cause damage when hitting their weak points. The monster then chases Zuo, and he starts running again. The monster was so fast that he could barely react in time. Was Zuo going to die? Zuo then sees an exit. He had gotten lucky this time. He almost died. It seemed like normal arrows can only be used to pull out monsters, but does not deal damage to the monster at all. If he only had arrows made from E-rank monster parts, he may actually be able to kill low-level monsters by himself. But it would be a waste to spend all that money. He then rushes towards the exit. The team were on a stance ready for combat. Zuo entered and the fish lizard broke the wall to get in. The members were Mu Hanhu, age 35, intermediate rank starfall warrior. Mu Inyue, age 18, intermediate rank starfall warrior, and others were novice rank warrior. As Zuo had expected, the party could easily clear E-rank dens. His job was easy this time. They finished killing the monsters, but one of them suddenly attacked. It was the E-rank monster's dying counterattack. It was dangerous. Muzha pushes Zuo Fan, telling him it was his duty. Zuo Fan was on the mouth of the monster, but he managed to dodge it barely. He then aims and shoots the monster's eyes, and Inyue then cuts the monster. Zuo then hears a sound saying that he had slain an E-rank monster for the first time. The system activation was initiating and adapting to the host. Zuo thought that he was having a hallucination. Inyue then orders Muzha to clean the corpse and look for the monster core. Muzha did not want to clean the corpse. Inyue then stares at Mu and orders him to do it. Inyue goes to Zuo and offers him the latest type of army rations that can quickly recover his energy. She praises him as an outstanding scout. Zuo thinks that Inyue is not as cold as she appears. Muzha had finished cleaning the corpse and was complaining how stinky it was. He told Zuo that he was good as cannon fodder, but inside he was thinking that Zuo made him look bad. Muzha then mocks Zuo by saying that he can never become an intermediate rank in his lifetime, and if he wanted to make money as a mercenary, he had to be cannon fodder and get carried by other parties. Inyue tells Muzha to shut up. Mu said that he just accidentally spoke the truth. Mu Hanhu tells Zuo that Muzha just likes screwing around and not pay attention to him. Zuo thinks of Mu Hanhu as a good person, but was getting irritated by the guy and what he did amidst the battle. It is nighttime. Zuo tells Inyue to go sleep as he will keep an eye on them now, as he cannot be much help in the battle anyway. Inyue then tells that she is just upholding the contract, as it states that 2 people should be patrolling. Zuo Fan then asks if they are from City J, judging from their accents, but then questions why they came to E-rank Monster Den in City Z. City J is in the north. It was where the monsters appeared and had multiple dens of all rank. Inyue then answers that it is a part of her family's coming-of-age trial. She then asks Zuo why he in E-rank with such low attributes is. Zuo was going to tell her his reason, but suddenly the ground cracked, then they fell into a huge hole. From above, a person in the shadows is watching them fall.
Thank you for joining us in this recap journey. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button. Comment if you have suggestions, want more of the series. Don't forget to share it with your friends. Do subscribe if you want more similar content. This is Universe Nexus, your passport to the immersive realms of anime and manga.